When I look at the theme of our gathering, it says strengthening urban poor networks. And then how do we make that happen? Since this morning we were listening to different speakers, we have to influence. Then I ask myself, how should we influence the policies? We have to put pressure in order to influence the policies. And then you look on the side of SDI, all the affiliates, why we have started to organize our organizations was with the mere fact of influencing the policies. So my question is to all of us on the side of the government who are saying they are the friends of SDI. Did we really make the practical influence? In daily basis, we are organizing ourselves in our communities with the aim of achieving certain goals for the members of the federations or the communities that we are working with. Like we are looking at the issue of slum upgrading, partnership, technical assistance. Our federations, we are strong in mobilizing, but we end up getting frustrated. How can the government help us to get rid of this frustration? Because although we are trying to create the partnership, it is good that we come to the meeting and talk together with the government, but when we go back to their offices, there are some obstacles that makes us to achieve the discussion that we are having. So what is it that we can do as the communities to get out of this frustration? Talking of 11,000 houses. You can imagine, when did South Africa started to organize? In 1991. We had over 150,000 members. The 11,000 houses that we built was the example of influencing what? The government's policy. And it's so interesting that we talk so nice in the big offices, nice buildings, talking so nicely, creating that partnership whilst we are discussing. But when you go back now, look at the policies after we influence them, that influence makes the government, I'm sorry to say, to copy what we are sharing with them and use it in the way that they want to scale up their own process as government. Then at the end of the day, it starts to create tension between us as the community and the government. I'm just citing an example of the People's Housing process that Joel was referring to. We fought with our government, not physically fighting, but arguing in the meetings to influence this subsidy program in South Africa, whereby we were able to influence the People's Housing process. For the first 5 years, it worked so well that we managed to do what? To build 11,000 houses within 5 years. Whereby at the end of the day, it turned now to become developer-driven People's Housing process. So what I'm trying to raise is that when we strengthen the urban poor network, yes, we'll do it by using our own philosophy of SDI, exchange programs, information sharing, information gathering and savings, putting women at the center. But are we really going to become strong to an extent that we influence the real influence of the policy? Or are we saying we should now start to organize and go to the offices in numbers and say, this is what we agreed upon, you take it or we cut the partnership? How are we going to improve the partnership that we are expecting to see happening? It's nice that we are listening to our government. I don't think it should only be the network between Uganda and Kenya, Kenya and Tanzania, Tanzania and South Africa, just like that. But it should also be the network between us and the formal world, which is the government. We have to have that network that works to satisfy both parties. For instance, I was listening to the PS giving the presentation of a particular project.